this view here was the heart of the film, because we'd been doing all the discussions down there in the house in Regent's Terrace, and it was a bit enclosed, you know, and then suddenly you come up here and there's a sense of a different kind of London, not just the privileged spaces of this very rich house owned by an American exile, but there's a great sweep, and seeing this totally American poet, the American beat poet Allen Ginsberg, who everybody associates with San Francisco and New York, seeing him in a London landscape was to see a different kind of person. He was a huge fan of William Blake, and he says what turned him on to poetry originally was when he was in New York all by himself. All his friends like Kerouac and Neil Cassidy were disappeared, and it was a very hot summer, and he heard the voice of William Blake reading, this prophetic, grave voice, reading the poem Our Sunflower, and that was it. That was what made him a poet. So coming back here to the place where Blake saw the spiritual sun, and seeing this made Ginsberg feel something more than an American beat poet, but made him an international figure in the prophetic tradition of the English poets like William Blake. Because before this, the reason that he came up here was that he's been in a party in the house down there, and everybody was sleeping in the early morning, and he came up here by himself and lay down on the grass, and then heard the sound of a bell from that church down below. And he wrote a little poem, about 4 or 5 lines, about finishing up with "It's the sound of a bell." And Robert Klinkert and Ginsberg sat down here, and it took about 10 shots to do it, because Klinkert wanted to pan across and hit the church just at the moment of the line that said "It's the sound of a bell," and of course it never really worked. And even in the final version in the film, you can see that it's sort of fudged with an extra zoom from closer by. It's like 1 millisecond in time to be back up here, because although Ginsberg's dead and R.D. Lang is dead and most of the people associated with the film are dead, the landscape is completely unchanged. And in terms of London, it's nothing. You know, we were kids 40 years ago, but we're still here. I can just literally see him sitting there, and that moment is this moment. They're all one and the same, because this is unchanging, and it outlasts us all.